I think that people are missing something very crucial to this conversation, and I should stay out of this, but were any aspects of force use in the original trilogy, force grabbing, for instance, grabbing objects, force ghosts, even the Jedi mind trick, were they explicitly set up before they happened, or did they just happen? I'll take my answer off air.
That's why the hero's journey matters, because whether you're talking about Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Matrix, whatever vehicle you use, if you're on board with the characters and they're well defined and well written, like Luke, Han, and Leia, and they have their clear territory, as Harrison Ford even said in his interviews, Luke is the callow youth, I'm the smuggler, I'm the smartass. When you have your areas to relate to, these nerd minutia, I have to keep saying this, about all the other stuff is secondary. It's about what Lucas wanted to do. Will you ask the big questions of life, the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, the Romeo and Juliet tragedy? Do you feel that? That's what matters most. Everything else about the Jedi mind tricks, and these are vehicles for something to be translated to people, and kids got it. People got it all over the world, and they lined up outside the Chinese theater and everywhere, and they were blown away because they had not seen modern myth in that way, updated and presented the way they did it. And Lucas cared so much about myth, so much, he gave up his DGA, his WGA, and his Motion Picture Association credentials so that he could keep people in the mythical dimension.
He even gave up his own creation. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Where did you think the blue milk came from?
It's irrelevant to me.
You were imagining.
Why was it green in your movie, Ryan?
Why is Luke jaded and bitter? That's what matters. Why is Luke Skywalker?
Why is Logan jaded and bitter in his Old Man Logan graphic novel and the movie?
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's funny to
which was very successful, by the way. Why is Logan bitter and old? Why is that okay and not Luke?
Because he's not Luke Skywalker.
Well, they give us good reasons in the film and the stories as to why. They did not give us good reasons as to why Rian Johnson decided to do this to our boy.
And this has to be said. I would love to hear Lofty's thought on this. If you know Campbell, the atonement with the father is so crucial. It's so crucial. It's one of the steps of the hero's journey. What they did with Kylo was they had him have a memory of his father, and he was redeemed. And from that point on, the storytelling in Star Wars said he's a hero. From the point he throws his lightsaber away and has a memory, which again, George Lucas gave us 1 through 6, the whole tragic fall of Anakin being redeemed by Luke. And you're supposed to go along with Kylo is now a hero because they decided he should be. Not because he earned it, not because he did the right thing and really atoned with his father at one-mint atonement. He didn't do that. He didn't earn it with us. So then he goes and becomes a hero. He murdered his father. This is destruction of myth. He did the unthinkable. He murdered his own father.
Mr. Johnson, I directly would like to ask you, what did you do and why did you do it to Mr. Snoke?
I did 12 wipe transitions, okay? I thought you fans were going to be happy. 12
See? Kurosawa wipe transitions and horizon shots.
What is your problem, you man babies?
It's cosplay narrative myth. It's not myth. It's just, it looks like it. It's cosplay narrative.
Mr. Your Honor, I must point out that Mr. Johnson's actually doing exactly what Disney and Star Wars are being charged of in this count.
You know, I'm always amazed how few people know about Gamergate. You know, it explains many violent harassment campaigns going on today. You know, it's a lot of the
same people
angry about the same stuff, using the same playbook. You know,
I'm surprised, huh? Is that surprising? I was surprised to find out the killer in the Knives Out Part 2 5 minutes into the movie, but that's a different.
I just want to say there's a line from Top Gun where he said, "Did my old man do it right? Did they stick the landing? Basically, did they do this right? Did they end it right?" And from my opinion, all the misogyny, racism, attacks on fans come from people who are rejecting the very core of what they gave us and what they did to Lucas's classical mythos. It doesn't feel like Star Wars. It doesn't look like Star Wars. And here's the thing: they had all the money and they had everything behind to make it happen, but they didn't. And I think all the tactics that corporations are using in the political realm, it doesn't even matter. They'll just attack. I don't think that's where the focus should be. They divided the fan base because they destroyed the universal appeal of Star Wars, which was already there. They didn't have to create it.
I believe the count is a bit of an exaggeration. Like I said, I think they haven't ignored the audience. They just delivered a poor story. I feel like in other areas of the Star Wars universe, like I said, The Mandalorian, even though it's not great, it's touching on some Lucas-esque, mythology imagery, things like that. And in general, I think, does the trilogy suck? Yes. Is it terrible? Yes. Is the blue milk disgusting? Yes. Is Rey Mary Sue? Yes. However, going forward, I don't think this the franchise is a dead franchise. I think there's room for improvement, and I just maybe this is my version of hope, as you will, as a fan of where I wish Star Wars would go. And I think it's just floundering at the moment. I think we're dealing with some very incompetent writers that are now on strike, conveniently. So we will see, is my position.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about myth. The story of Star Wars is built on myth. The only myth I see in this court today is the defense, and their lack of.
I'm very real. Just because I'm a hologram, I'm stuck on Tatooine.
Representation here,
Mr.
because, and as far as the slave Leia thing, which is I feel the only thing I may not have addressed in my arguments today. Here's exhibit for you. Did anybody bother asking women how they felt about this? There's a lot of cosplayers that this is a very popular costume for. In fact, our own Judge Gore has been seen in slave Leia uniform, I believe.
I guess, Your Honor, that Mr. Connors, I guess that women would disagree with Princess Leia herself in the that Vanity Fair article where she talks about it being inappropriate. And that Daisy Ridley should pursue a more powerful role as a woman.
Well, I mean, I think many of these women feel and look very happy and look like they're doing what they want to do to me. And the other fact that we talked about is the fandom. How they have treated the fandom has eroded this fan base.